G'day guys, Hellcat007 here, and today I'm going to be teaching you some basic text tags to add to the structure of our static HTML page. Now, one thing I did forget to do is actually open up our index file, so I'll just go do that now. So there are quite a lot of text tags actually. Also in this video I'm going to be throwing in some basic styling as like directly styling a text tag, and then we'll get back into basic styling in the CSS part 1 video that I'll be doing later on today actually. Here is where we left off from our basic static web page yesterday. We just need to style this up a little bit. So again, this is a full web page right now. All it needs is some text, images, and all that. So also there is, apart from just text tags, we're also going to be adding images and more stuff like links or lists, and yeah, so it's all going to be put into this red box here. So we will need to change the height. So one thing we can do in order to change the height is just take out the height on there. That should get rid of it. So at least that allows us to expand beyond 200 pixels as the height was set before, right here. So as long as we take this out and then have that ready there, or as I was saying yesterday, you can set the height as a percentage. It does not like me, but I'll just quickly add in a tag here. Let's see if that changes anything. Okay, so you got this, which it will expand as we go, but usually heights will automatically set when you do add stuff to it, but that doesn't matter. So just create a bit of space here. So in the first box, we're going to be having some sort of intro sort of box. So if you want to, I guess I can just add an image straight up. So you know how we have the light green background here. What I'm going to do is actually set this background here as a background for the web page. So in order to do that, you've got to go back into the body, opening body tag, and where it's got BG color, you're going to take it all out. So it's just body space greater than, and then you're going to add a background, yep, and then equals double quote, and then inside those double quotes you're going to type URL. Actually, I think this is the one. I think this is the way to do it. Or the background is just images / background.jpg, which is actually what I think it is. Now I say I think because it's been a while since I set a background image. Yeah, there you go. There's a background image there. You can see that this is not the full, it's not scaled to the thing. So in order to do that, I need to get my ruler, dragging from the top to the bottom here. We got our height of 636 pixels. Now that's not going to matter. What does matter is the width, which straight across here is 1365. Well, it's actually 1366, but doesn't matter. Oh no, I see. Yeah, that's actually dragging to 1365. Okay, so what we do is we go back into the image file, hit edit. This should open up in Paint, by the way. Then we want to resize, take out the maintain aspect ratio. The horizontal, we're just going to change to 1366. And then vertical is going to be 636, if I remember correctly. That's what it was. $636, yeah, that's the height. Oh, wrong one. I need to get Paint back. So what's the resize in pixels? 600. Okay, sweet. Now we just hit save and cross out. Just hit refresh, and there you go. There's the image set to the whole thing, and also it is back to HD. So yeah. So that's our background for the web page. Now also you can see that I have in fact done the same thing on my website, except that the background image is repeated on the y-axis. So if you can see a join, it goes right along there. You can see a join that goes on there, but we're not focusing on the background as such. So most people won't even notice that join that's right there of the image being repeated. They'll just see the image here, and that's it. They'll just see the image and then they're reading what's on the content. They won't notice that little bit of a gap there. The only one they'll notice is if it's repeated. If you've got an image like this and it is repeated on the y-axis, you will notice that it's been repeated, because you've got empty space here, then you've got a picture, then you've got more empty space. So when it repeats, you're going to start off with the empty space again, then you get the picture, then more empty space. Whereas with this one, it's just a constant flow of what it is, and it stays brighter in the middle, then it goes sort of darkish, but this color here stays throughout the whole picture. So yeah, that's just a little bit of a helping hand for you when picking background images. So if we want to make this one page, the other thing we can do, and I'll have to show you guys in the CSS one, is that you can fix the background image to the screen, so that when you scroll, it keeps the same image where it is on placing the screen, and you're just scrolling text up. There is a way to do it. I just have to go and figure that one out. I'll get back to you guys on that one on the CSS video. So anyway, back in here, adding basic styling tags. So we have a div box. We do have a div box. It's just not popping up because our height has been turned off. So I'm just going to set this very quickly 500 pixels so we know what we're working with. And you can see it's a big square in the center of the thing, and our background image is behind. So you can actually change div box backgrounds to an image as well. So let's just quickly throw one in. But the one thing to realize is the fact that if you have the background image here, that's fine. But if you're going to add an image in here, you have to be mindful that it does not put you off. And you got to make sure it's readable. Like with this one here, I've got a dark background image and a light main image in the back here of the div box. So this doesn't put me off because it's contrasting the background. But if you're gonna have this background image, you don't want to get another image of the same color. Well, in the same color region, you want to get something that's actually completely different, such as this. But you got to remember too that too many images do put people off, and also a lot of images will slow down the browser speed. So you can see in the other site that I did make for Dad. So this one's okay because it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 images to load in. Right? These don't really count, though they are images. But with the other page here, if I go into the gallery, you can see that it takes forever to load. And also it's got to load the CSS file into it as well. But this will be slowed down quite dramatically if you have a background image and then all your div boxes with an image. Okay. So you can see here that this is still trying to load. And also I've added the CSS to zoom in on hover, which is another thing that will take time, is a design of your page, which we will get into eventually. That's more on the advanced part of CSS. I've actually got a notebook just sitting on my lap here with all the stuff that I got to do in here. So we'll move on to the first thing, and this is quite useful, but it has been deprecated for being out of date, and it is frowned upon by the programming community. But you can still use it, except it's ought not to be utilized because it is obsolete. So anyway, the marquee tag is the one I'm talking about, but the marquee, it actually I'll just quickly write in what it does. I'll just quickly make sure this works. Yeah, there you go. So the marquee tag allows for you to make text scroll across the screen, except this has been deprecated because, like most things, you want to be able to read your text, and some people can't read it when it's going across the screen. And also, it's just really, I'm not exactly sure why it was deprecated, but as far as I could work out, it's out of date and ought not to be utilized because of how slightly annoying it is. But yeah, it's been out of the HTTP protocol since 2014, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so that's what the marquee tag there does. And again, you can use it, except some browsers have actually disabled its use. So yeah, and then I don't remember where it said, but program bolsters have restricted the marquee tag. and I don't actually know what that means, but yeah, so I've actually done it wrong. Oh no, I've done it right. So you can change the direction. So you can do direction up. I've also got to align it to center here. Something I forgot to do. But you can see that it will go up or not. Huh. Okay, if I take that out. Oh, I've got nothing in here. Is that alright on the left side? Yeah, it is. Okay. So aligning to the center will allow for it to be still on the left side. That's okay. That's okay. But other things you can add into the marquee tag are a width and a height. So a height, we can make this, I'd say 20 pixels, and the width, okay, so the width, we're going to set it to 30% of the screen. So that shows in things. So if I set the height to 100%, should be, yeah, it's going directly from the bottom here all the way up to the top. I know why that's so funny. No. But there is also another tag which has been deprecated, so you can use a marquee tag, except I won't go into it because it is frowned upon if it is used. So yeah, another one. And again, some browsers have disabled the blink option, which is what Chrome did. But if you just type in blink HTML here for Google, it usually, yeah, there you go, all blink have yeah, you can see that this all blinks, except that doesn't work for this one. At least I'm sure I got it right. Yeah, there you go. The CSS specification allows browsers to ignore the blink element. So yeah, don't use the blink tag and don't use the marquee tag. That's all you guys need to know. So, and we'll wait back with what text tags are. So you have H1 text tags, and I'll very quickly explain all of them. Without typing, I'll just hit copy and paste, 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 paste. So we have, let's quickly do this. Alright, so you'll see now that we have different sizes of the word hi, and this is done by heading tags, which is H1 to H6. So heading tags, they will be used very, very commonly. Now, I'll tell you guys also that these are done in heading tags on my site here. So any of the big bold text like that is again a heading tag, and I can show you guys this by going into the DevTools by pressing F12, and index HTML is the one I want, and where it says start of thing, you can see here that this is a H1 tag, a heading 1, which is the what are my hobbies, which is right here. So the different sizes here, yeah, different sizes of the different headings. Now you've also, I'm just going to take the height out because there is more. There are also line breaks, which are very I'm sorry, there are page breaks, which are also very, very useful. As you can see, they are just consist of a less than, then a H, R, space, forward slash, and then a greater than. And this just allows a page break. Oh, I didn't save it. This just allows a page break in the text, and you can see that it's actually chopped it off there because that's the last thing you wrote. So after this break here, I'm actually going to put a bit of space between it. We can now add a very p tag, which is your standard paragraph tag in that you will find throughout any website. So you can see that it's not bold. You can see that this is not bold, and it's not a big thing. It's actually about the same size as a H4 element. So we're just quickly grabbing a H4, also saying the same thing. Oh, that's not. And you can see that it's actually the same size. It's just bolded. See, if I put the strong tag in here, now they are both the same. So the paragraph is the same size as a H4 element, but yeah, there you go. And actually, let me take out the align for a sec so everything can be centered. Put off that. Yeah, okay, sweet. But actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very quickly add in another div just so I can have it margined off. Style, because boxed margin right, and because it is in the side of a div box, I have to use a smaller percentage. So I'm just going to name both of them 2%. So you can see that this is moves over 2%, and so has the line break, which is actually very good for me because I can now add the align tag back in here. And yeah, so the div box inside the 2% has bought the page break in 2% from the main div box, which is very handy. And so other text tags you have are, well, you do have strong tags which do make text bold. The only problem is, I'll just very quickly check if this works. Okay, so strong does work as a text tag on its own, except it is preferred that you use it in a p tag or any other text tag, so rather than one on its own. Now the tag for bold or strong used to be just B, but that was just taken out, and well, you can still use B, but it has been taken out of the HTTP protocol and replaced with strong. More you can add is EM, which just emphasizes tag. So you can put EM, hey EM, and that will add it as italic. Now for some reason, now you can just get line breaks, which is just like a page break, except it just moves text to the next line and it does not show one of these lines. And you can, I'm pretty sure you can style a HR tag, but I am not bothered to do that right now. I will test it out in my own spare time and I'll get back to you guys on it. So and there's another one. There is, I'm pretty sure, okay, no, that's not gonna work, but I'm pretty sure there is one for underline, except that is more in, that's more something to do in CSS, which we will get to. So you can add italics, and there's also, it's called ins or INS, and it's actually short for insert. So if you do insert like that and then do it, you will see that it is underlined, except the problem I have with it is the fact that it's an insert tag for inserted text, not underlined. So usually what I do is I you see here, hang on, let me go into Mediafire for a sec, or actually never mind, I'll go into here and I just hit open YouTube and then Seagate programming HTML template index. I gotta open this one with Chrome, hang on. So you'll see here that this part here, so this tag is started from the CSS file, which it is. The link to the CSS file is in the head section, and link type text CSS rel style sheet href. Now this tag right here, sorry, this part here, the grayed background part, this part here is actually inserted text that I have in fact edited, and you'll see here that here's a tag right here, right? And you can see that I've used the insert tag here and the closing one, whoops, and the closing one right here. Oh, come on. And you see in the style sheet here that the insert tag here, and because I've called, hang on, what is this? Oh no, it's just a thing on its own. So you can see that I've made the insert tags, the text decoration none. So with the text decoration, that's removed the underlining that we have here. Alright, and what did I do? So it removed the underlining, and I changed the background color to light gray, which is what gives us a light grey color here. So that's just something I want to point out to you guys, that the insert tag will underline text for you, and it's easy to see why, except the underlining of a word on any web page is usually referring to a hyperlink or a link. So here you can see that these are in fact links down in the bottom left hand corner where it's got YouTube URL, except I've taken the underlining away from that, and I've made sure that I include that the above text is a list of clickable links that I have styled, because the actual links to thing I have left underlined, and it's also down here, just so the site's easier to read and there's stuff is easy to find. So I just want to point that out to you guys, is that people who don't know any better will think that hey there is a link and try and click it, when really it's just inserted text. But that's just some more stuff there. There's also another warning